Attractive women like me should not have to work. I should be at home sipping iced coffee and journaling.
Girls, we are just not meant to be working 9 to 5s. We are not meant to be slaving away, grinding with the men.
Please stop telling women in their late 20s, early 30s that time's a ticking.
But the reality is their time is ticking, and that biological clock's running out fast.
I had a thought. Women are really not meant to work.
It's crazy to think when I was younger, I used to have a dream job. I used to want to be this, I used to want to be that. Now my dream job is to not have a job.
Every time I open this app, I see content about why do women have to work?
Who the hell said that women should work?
Feminism told women to work. It seems that many women are hating their equality. Kindly subscribe to the channel as it further supports us in our work. Thank you.
Maybe women do resort to OnlyCans and like easier routes. I mean, I guess it's not necessarily easier, but you make like a ton more volume and money because the system is not made for women to work in.
Something needs to be done about women having to work. Like, there's no way I'm on my way to my 4th shift in a row where I have to serve people and clean up their dirty plates. Like, there's just no way. Like, I have a degree that's basically useless in psychology. Like, who was going to tell me at the beginning of my 4 years?
Why 9 to 5s don't work for women. The system was based off of a male hormone cycle, which is every 24 hours. A woman's cycle is every 28 days. This is why men can wake up each and every day, do the same tasks on repeat, and be productive and successful. So if you're a woman and you're feeling a little out of it, maybe a little unmotivated, maybe a little more tired, don't be hard on yourself. Just understand that this is the reason.
As I am driving to work right now, I have come to the realization that I can't do this for another 4 years. Not even another 10 years, 5 years, 2 years. I just can't do this. Like, as I'm driving to work, I can feel my mental health literally going down. And I called out for 3 days. I called out for 3 days for my mental. And I'm literally driving right now and I'm like, I don't want to be here. It is taking everything in me not to call out right now because at this point I don't care. This life is not free. I can't do this anymore.
And that right there is what's making so many women resent the idea of women working. Their mental health is declining, their physical health is suffering, and they're exhausted from doing everything alone. Working long hours, raising kids, paying bills, cooking, cleaning, and still being told they should want more. Many women once voted to enter the workforce, but now it seems the very freedom they fought for is backfiring. They were promised empowerment, but instead many feel isolated, overworked, and underappreciated. The dream of independence has turned into a cycle of burnout, and the so-called equality has left them carrying double the load, with no one to share it with. Now, the freedom they once chased feels more like a trap. The dream of having it all has become doing it all, with no support system to lean on. And ironically, some of the very women who once cheered for independence are now the ones crying out for help.
God forbid a girl just wants to relax and go shopping every day, and I don't think a full-time job is going to allow me to do that. That's why I don't want one. Like, those are my hobbies, and I can't do them when I'm working.
Attractive women like me should not have to work. I should be at home sipping iced coffee and journaling, but instead, I'm sitting in a parking lot waiting for my shift to start at a Ross.
Women are not meant to work.
Really? I'm kind of starting to wonder if some women think that women's rights movement thing was apparently just an entire waste of everyone's time.
40-hour work weeks, plus overtime, double time, weekends,
It rather makes a person wonder, how exactly are they going to be supporting themselves?
We are not workhorses. Save that for the men.
Leave the work to the men. Because they're workhorses. Sure. You know, it makes me stop and wonder, if a person were to actually ask a lot of these women that make these sorts of statements, do they actually believe that women are truly equals to men? I wonder how many of them would say yes. and still try to justify making these sorts of statements. Because equal rights means equal treatment, and it also means equal responsibility. But I know responsibility to some is definitely something to be avoided.
The majority of these types of women are the first to say, women shouldn't have to work. But at the same time, they're always expecting someone else to step in and take responsibility for their lives. They want the benefits of independence without the burden that comes with it. The reality is, many of these women got a taste of what it's like to grind like a man, waking up early, clocking in, facing pressure, solving problems, paying bills, and carrying the weight of responsibility, and they don't like it. Suddenly, equality doesn't feel so empowering anymore. This woman said, "Leave the working to the men." And that sentiment is becoming more common. Why? Because now they understand the pressure men have been under for generations, the sleepless nights, the constant expectations, the silent suffering, and they're realizing it's not as glamorous as they thought. They said they wanted to work and be equals to men, but when it came time to actually live that equality, it isn't that appealing to them anymore.
Sit with me while I don't work, because women shouldn't work. Even if they have a job, you should show up and not do anything. Especially if you work with men, they should just do everything. But your paycheck should also be just as big, if not doubled. So sit with me while I do that.
You need help.
You know what? You know how people ask you, oh, what's your dream job? I saw a girl on here that put that post and she was like, I don't have a dream job because I don't dream of working. That's what I'm talking about. I just want to make money just from like existing. Like low-key, I already do that because of TikTok, but it's not enough.
Women don't give a fuck about being married anymore. They have no interest in having a husband. They have dealt with enough men in their lifetime to say, I'm good. I don't want anything to do with this. I don't want no part of this. Y'all can have it. I choose peace. Women have got to a point in this world that they would rather not ever be married or not ever be near a fucking man again, because they know that trauma, drama, bullshit, lies, excuses, and empty promises are attached to a man. They would rather live their lives in peace with their dogs and their cats and absolutely never have to deal with the bullshit a man brings to them. All the lies, all the bullshit, all the pain, all the sorrow, all the suffering. They don't want to deal with it anymore. They would rather be alone. They want to come home. They want to kick their shoes off from a day of work or wherever the they've been, and they want to kick their shoes off. They want to go in the kitchen. They want to pour themselves a glass of wine, have a cocktail, have a sparkling water. They want to go to their couch. They want to kick their feet up. They want to watch their favorite show, or they want to sit there and read a motherfucking book in peace and sit with their cat and their dog and not have to hear anything that a man has to offer or has to say to her. Women don't give a fuck about being married anymore. I love you. Hope this helps some of you.
See, I would have believed that women didn't care about marriage or getting a husband if they didn't keep asking for one. But let's be honest, this whole "we don't need men" narrative is just a self-serving illusion, a defense mechanism, a mask. Because if women really didn't care about marriage, they wouldn't be flooding dating apps, calling into relationship podcasts, or making TikToks saying, "Where are all the good men?" They wouldn't be attending singles retreats, vision boarding weddings, or crying over their exes who got away. The reality is, women today are still asking for men. They're still searching for husbands. And many are getting more desperate with each passing year. So when she says, "We don't want husbands anymore," that's not empowerment. That's denial. It's damage control. It's a way to protect the ego after being rejected, overlooked, or left behind.
I'm like 2 seconds away from moving out of America. I can't do it. Take me back to Europe. Take me back to Australia. Take me back where things make sense. where the food is not making you feel like a piece of crap 24/7, where their cost of living is not outrageous to actually obtain, where people see each other and experience life and travel and sit and have coffee and enjoy company. When I was 17, I went to Australia, and I will never forget someone said, "You Americans, you live to work and we work to live." And that has stuck with me since that moment, and I can't unhear it. I don't want to live to work. I want to work to live. And I can't do that in America. It's just freaking killing me here.
Feminism conditioned us to pick the worst type of men, and here's how. Some of y'all's britches are going to be in a bind after this one. Super hyper-dependence has caused us to pick emotionally unavailable men. And I know this speaking from experience. And the rejection of positive masculinity opens the door for the toxic, weak masculinity. So when you start slapping labels on positive masculine things like provision, providing, headship, you invite a weak man who will either not be able to lead as a man or someone who will manipulate you to thinking that they can. Been there. Feminism has glorified rebellion, not discernment. Women are confusing chaos with chemistry, so now those bad boys become the thrill, while the emotionally available, the stable boys become boring. And feminism has taught us to be that man that we were meant to receive, and then we walk around wondering why we can't find a good one. Ladies, I know when you're on your own, you have to be independent. You have to wear the pants. I get it. But when you find that good man that is honoring you, cherishing you, providing for you, protecting your heart, girl, take those britches off. I'm not meaning hypothetically. I mean, whatever y'all do behind closed doors, that's your business. But I'm saying, take those britches off, those boss babe pants, and allow him to lead you.
Feminism, especially in its modern form, did condition many women to pick the worst types of men. And in many ways, it rewired how women view love, leadership, and relationships altogether. Instead of valuing stable, hardworking, loyal men who wanted to build a life and lead with purpose, they were taught to see those men as boring, controlling, or too traditional. Meanwhile, the loud, emotionally unavailable narcissistic types, the ones who showed dominance without responsibility, were painted as exciting, alpha, or confident. Feminism flipped the script. It told women to seek power over men, not partnership with them. It convinced them that submission, even in a healthy, balanced, trusting relationship, was oppression, that following a good man's lead was weakness, that bad boys and chaos were signs of strength and liberation. But now we're seeing the fallout. So many women chose thrill over stability, rebellion over respect, and now they're left dealing with broken homes, fatherless children, and emotional trauma.
Older generations are so confused at why we don't want to work anymore, or why we don't necessarily want to work hard or prioritize our careers. We know how short life is now, and it didn't have to come from a life-changing, life-altering experience like it did for those before us. You know that older person in your life that had someone close to them pass away maybe when they were young, and they live life to the fullest because of that? Now we have that access to that information. We also had this global panini that happened, so we view life way differently than we ever have before. So even for a lot of us, if we've got a workplace that is purpose driven and they've got great values and they're doing amazing work, we're still like, I want to travel, I want to do other stuff with my life. And that's also confusing for us because we're like, oh my God, we've got all this like privilege, like the work we're doing is great and all of this kind of stuff. Why am I still depressed? Why do I still hate my life? Why do I still not want to work? And it's because we don't place the same value that was drilled into us before on that. And so we shouldn't. The access to information has made us smarter.
Because why in the do I have to work 40 hours a week, maybe 50 hours a week, wait 2 weeks to get a paycheck, submit a request to take time off to take a vacation, and it may be denied, can't take no mental health days. This whole 9 to 5 is a scam. It's a scam, and it's from the pits of hell, and I don't want no more parts of it. I'm trying to figure out how I can get rich without having to go work for anybody else. I gotta show up for myself. Yeah, this 9 to 5 shit is a scam. I'm over it.
This woman says she's overworking. She doesn't want to do it anymore. It's tiring. It's draining. She's burnt out. And what this proves is that women didn't really want the opportunities they asked for. They wanted the freedom, not the responsibility. They wanted options, not obligations. Why do I have to work 40 hours a week? Because that's the price of the equality she was promised. And now that she's feeling it, she doesn't want to pay it anymore. There are plenty of women in this boat now, saying, I'm tired. I can't do this anymore. I thought I wanted this life, but I was wrong. Men, come save me. They're breaking down under the pressure, quietly at first, then publicly, on podcasts, in viral clips, in group chats with their girlfriends, finally admitting that the strong, independent woman role isn't what they thought it would be. Because what's the point of being independent if you're miserable? What's the point of being empowered if you cry yourself to sleep after working all day, coming home to an empty house?
You know that saying that the guys that want you, you don't want, and the guys you want don't want you back, right? I figured out how and why that is. Stay with me on this one. The guys that you do not care about, the guys you're not even attracted to, do you notice energetically that you are just completely yourself with them because you're not concerned about what their opinion is of you? When you have this mindset, you're not caring about what you look like, what you're saying, you're just yourself, and that is very attractive to these guys. So when you're like super annoyed with the fact that the guy that you want doesn't want you back, you have to think about this. How are you acting when it comes to this type of guy? Are you being reserved? Are you being shy? And if that's the case, then that is probably a huge reason as to why he can't really fully like you, because you're acting way too concerned about what he thinks of you, and energetically that's going to pull him away from you. You kind of have to treat the guys that you're into a little bit like friends at first, like not caring whether or not you end up with them, because energetically that's way more attractive if you act like he's a friend, you have options, I'm good whether we date or not, and that is reverse psychology to get him to really be interested in you. Treat him like a friend, like literally treat him like a friend. I swear they start to get annoyed with that because they're like weirded out, like, wait, why did you see me as a friend? Like, I don't like that. Like, wait, she's actually really cool. Like, she's herself. She doesn't care what anyone thinks. And I like her personality. You know, they start to really see you in a romantic way when you are just energetically not concerned what the guy thinks of you. So if you always find yourself liking the guy, but the guy that you want doesn't want you, you just have to treat him like the guy that you actually don't really like. You just have to be, again, in a mindset. It takes a lot of mental work because, of course, if you're attracted to him, I know it can be really easy to slip into that caring about what he thinks of you. But I promise you just kind of have to almost decenter men in general. And then you won't be so concerned about the outcome of whether this guy likes you or not. That is literally the secret to getting anyone to be attracted to you, or the guy you want to be attracted to you. Treat him like a friend and like literally see what happens.
This right here is something that's often hard for women to accept. The man they want simply doesn't want them. And what makes it even harder is that for a long time, many women have been told they can have any man they choose, that they're the prize, that no man would ever say no to them, especially if they look good or have a career. So when reality hits, when that one guy doesn't chase, doesn't reply, doesn't care, it shakes their world. And most times, it's not even that deep. He's not playing hard to get. He's not scared of her success. He's not intimidated by her energy. He's just not interested. No chemistry, no spark, no desire to pursue it. And that's something a lot of women struggle with, because they've rarely had to deal with rejection the way men have. Men grow up getting ignored, left on red, ghosted. It's part of the game. But for some women, being rejected by the man they actually want feels like an attack on their worth. And instead of accepting it, they try to rationalize it.